And we are here for the P3 Lunch and Learn here at the P3 headquarters. And I'm so glad to have the person that we have on today. We're going to do a little in person type of thing today. We have our lead program manager, Matt Spacia, on here. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing real well. Thank you for having me. I really love catching these, and I think we, can provide a good amount of information for people. So tune in, share, like the page, follow it, click all the buttons. It really does help out.
Right. So, just a little fun fact about Lunch and Learn. Matt was the one who came with the idea for us to start doing this. So, thanks again for that idea, Matt.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Matt Spacey, you have been with Poetry for Personal Power for how long now? Give people a little background.
Uh, yeah, so it'll be, I believe, 5 years in October. Joined right out of college, and just been doing a lot of great work with a lot of great people, making a difference with mental health and arts. And it's really what I've always wanted to do is the perfect intersection for me between, the business side of things, the arts side of things, and mental health. So I've always really loved my time here, and especially working with great people.
Okay. So, as Poetry for Personal Power, a lot of people, of course, associate us with poetry. So, you are a poet as well. So, tell people, how did you get your start with poetry?
So I've always been really interested in like music and performing and that type of thing. But I realized I couldn't carry a tune if you handed me a bucket at about 14. So I started writing it. Started off more hip hop-ish, but it really evolved into slam poetry after getting introduced to the Kansas City scene. If y'all have been around the scene for a while, you remember places like the Uptown Arts Bar and stuff like that. That's where I really got introduced to this style, and I mean, it just kind of ran from there with a lot of team effort. Met people from all over the country that let me go all over the country. Ended up in 2016 winning my first of 8 national awards. Got to go all over the place, Chicago, out to California, out to Nashville, down to Texas. Even got to do a Jamaica show once. That was amazing. And
Oh, wow. How was
now I'm
that?
that was a lot of fun. We got to go out. It was a really nice resort. We got to do a couple of shows out there. I mean, it was gorgeous. On the Clearwater beaches in the day and on the stage at night. And got to take my now wife with me. So yeah, it was just a phenomenal time. And now I'm in the making other people happen lane and not doing as many individual shows anymore, but making a lot of people happen and supporting the local scenes a lot and making sure that they can continue, especially now that we're, starting to come out on the other end of the pandemic. We got some rebuilding to do because a lot of stages either closed or the scenes really slowed down. But shout out to the people that kept it going through the online events. And now we're getting awesome in-person events like every Thursday down at Poetry on the Vine. There's always an event down there, and Artisan Spitfire every Tuesday, and out here in Topeka, where I'm actually up in Meriden now, but it's only about 20 minutes north of Topeka. I just moved. There's Speakeasy every first Wednesday. Wichita's starting up events again. At Astor out in Salinas starting up events again. So the scene is the scene is returning, and I'm very very excited to see what people have done with their time.
So, tell us, what is your background? Like, what is your position? You're the lead program manager. So, what does the lead program manager do?
Yeah, so I have a couple of responsibilities on a broad stroke. I'm involved in a lot of our coalition meetings. I sit on the board for KMHC, which is the Kansas Mental Health Coalition. I'm also involved in the Parity Committee, which involves mental health being treated the same way as physical health in the state. I give inputs to there. I also am involved with the Meaningful Measures Coalition, and I also coordinate a lot of our program managers like Serenity, Tiara, and make them I make people that they bring to me, I put them in the right areas, I help them get what they need and give them the resources, and constantly on standby to make sure that y'all's awesome work continues to happen. This is one of those kind of facilitator roles, and then also doing a lot of grant work. I do a lot of the inputting for our outcomes and stuff like that. So I handle quite a bit of the behind the scenes stuff, and then finding out where stuff's going to be, like Kansas Mental Health Coalition, keeping the eyes on what's coming up and down the pipeline in the state. Like we're very excited for 988, which is going to be the 3-digit
What
replacement.
Explain. I'm sorry. Explain 988. What is that?
Yeah, so it's going to be the three-digit replacement to the current nine digits National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and it's going to do a little bit more than what that hotline is going to do. It's still going to function. It's still going to have the hotline functions if you've used those, or we know people who've used them. 988's not replacing that. It's just going to add on to it. It's going to function kind of similarly to 911, but be for mental health instead of sending a cop out that's not really trained to do that type of stuff. It's going to send a professional like us to deal with this crisis situation.
Right. So for those who didn't probably catch what he was saying, basically it's going to be, instead of you calling the hotline number for suicide prevention, you will call 988, similar to as if you was calling 911. This is very innovative as far as we're moving forward. We're having a lot increase in suicides in the world in general, especially with youth. So we're trying to go. They're trying to go in a different direction to bring awareness to that. For one, and make it easier for people to reach out if they need help.
Absolutely.
Okay, so well, you said you're on several committees. Let's talk a little bit about. You said was it Kansas? Oh, Kansas Coalition. Talk a little bit about them and what they do.
Yeah, so KMHC, Kansas Mental Health Coalition, is a phenomenal organization. If you're interested, the meetings are every last Wednesday of the month. If you're
And
a
these are
consumer,
open meetings, right?
yeah, I was just about to say if you're a consumer, if you're an advocate, if you work in the field, you are more than welcome to come. You're in fact encouraged, you're not just more than welcome, you're encouraged to come. And the whole thing is kind of bridging the gaps between us. There's a lot of great people doing phenomenal efforts. We just want to coordinate them to be together so we can put, more mass behind our recovery and mental health movements. And the coalition is a great way to get involved. You'll hear stuff on the consumer side of things. You'll hear directly from KDAD's Andy Brown has been phenomenal in his availability. You also hear people like Rick Kagan from the Parity Committee. You'll hear Amy Campbell, who is a phenomenal resource if you want to know anything that's happening on Capitol Hill in Kansas. As far as the legislation is concerned, she knows every
Yeah, I love
out of
Amy.
it. She's
I love
phenomenal.
Amy.
Mary Jones also does quite a lot of work. I mean, there's so many people today that would take, it would take all of our time. The Kansas Mental Health Coalition is a phenomenal place to stay connected with resources and also get involved with people who are in this fight with us. It does take every one of us. And these gains that we've seen these last couple of years, a lot of them have been born out of the efforts of KMHC and the coordination between the different groups of advocates. And P3 has been a part of it for a long time. Now we have a board member and myself with it, and we're progressing. We're continuing to fight. We send out stuff like, "Hey, get involved with the legislation. Reach out to your legislator, talk to them about 988, talk to them about mental health funding," and we coordinate a lot of grassroots efforts that way. So, I mean, if you want to be involved, KMHC is the place to start. Like, reach out to us with P3. We'll put you in contact with KMHC, and you'll get connected with people across the state very, very quickly. So, be involved. That's the first
I
step.
know they're also responsible or help put on the Advocacy Day. Talk a little bit about what is Advocacy Day and how can somebody get involved with that?
Yeah, so Advocacy Day is our big first event, excuse me, our big event every year that we do at the Kansas Capitol. We did a virtual and in-person event this year. It normally happens in late February. It's always in February. The date kind of changes a little bit, but it's always in February. And it puts us in front of the legislators and sees, especially before the pandemic, we would put 1,500 people in the rotunda and they would be able to hear us directly. And it gets people like the governor involved. Last year we had her record a message for us, and she's consistently involved. Even with KMHC, we have the governor's advisory committee that comes directly to tell us, how we can get involved and get her ear. And say what you will about a lot of politicians, but Laura Kelly actually, genuinely cares. She has consistently shown it. And Advocacy Day is part of how we get those legislators and our governor involved and make them listen. Mental health often gets put on the back burner, but with Governor Kelly and KMHC's efforts, we've really been able to create a very public view. A lot of that comes through Advocacy Day. It's hard to ignore 1,500 people at the Capitol.
Yeah. Well, I just want people to know about, because I know that's a real big thing that they do with Advocacy Day. And then for those who They may have heard about it, but they didn't necessarily know how to get involved. Just making sure that information is put out there. So we're going to switch back to you as an artist. Like, who would you say are some people that inspire you artistically?
So yeah, there's kind of two lanes with this. There's the mainstream, well, mainstream-ish lane. A lot of underground artists there, but definitely strange music as far as the flow style of things. And then people like Common, Watsky, places like that, people like that that showed, the more poetic side of things. And I was like, oh, there is a significant area here where we can meld what you see with hip hop on stage and the lyricism that comes with slam poetry. There's a significant area here where we can meld that. And then seeing people like Sherry Hall, like Jen Harris, Black Ice up in Chicago, Analog Soul up in Chicago, Choice down in Houston. Seeing people like that always inspire me. And then, you know, go out to your stages. I had, if you guys know who Brandon Amazing is, when I was really starting to take slam seriously, he showed me quite a bit and really took me under his wing as far as like editing and stuff like that. It's always been a team effort, and I wouldn't be anywhere close to be doing what I'm doing or knowing the people that I would without team effort. Like I mean, there's so many influences on it. Again, it would be one of those things that would take forever, but those are the big ones. And it's just trying to live up to what they taught me artistry should be. It should be community based. It should be, it should be a place where you can come to heal and say what you need and feel supported by your community and share with your community and build it. The more people that we build and that we talk to, we share our ideas with, the bigger that coalition becomes. You know, I can't change the world, but I can change one person. That one person will have the butterfly effect. It'll reach two people, and it'll reach two people. So putting yourself out there is always important. I had a lot of great influences early in starting my artistry that showed me this is what this should be. This is what you should be doing. A microphone is a responsibility.
Now you kind of say that you're a rebel when it comes to your poetry. Why would you say that? Like, what is some things about you artistically that you feel is rebel?
Yeah, so I'm really not shy about blatantly saying political instances. I'm way more than, oh, this is trending, so let me write a poem about it. I've been talking about it for years and years. And, unfortunately, a lot of those pieces that I put out, earlier, unfortunately, still relevant. But I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings if it leads to something constructive. Like if you're
And guys, he's very smart. Like we call you, I guess, was it Encyclopedia Brown, or but like if any fun fact you want to know about anything, Matt probably knows it.
I go down a lot of different rabbit holes, and I'll come back with the information. But like I do that because I want people to be informed. Like you can't have a positive impact if you're not informed about the situation. So I'm not gonna, I don't sugarcoat things in my poetry. If something's messed up, I'm gonna tell you about it, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and it may hurt your feelings because it might hurt your feelings, but I want you to be thinking about this. I want you to be thinking, man, you look around and you'll see these different political situations. It's like, no, you can make a difference in this. Or you'll see, like I just wrote a piece recently that was pretty well received, and it was about religion and how, to me, there's a lot of good people. I'm not denying that see religion that way. But right now in Kansas we have a anti-abortion bill that's gone up that's primarily backed by religious people, and it's like this cannot be your justification for your God cannot be used. And
Mm.
and I know that's going to make a lot of people angry when you attack their faith like that. But if you're supposed to be a loving, caring person that wants to take care of the least of us, you cannot then be like, I want to strip people of bodily autonomy. Like it's incongruent. So I'm going to write about that. And if it offends you, good. We need to change that way of thinking. So, I may be a little rebellious with it, but I do it with a kind heart. I do it with I don't want you to, be negatively impacting your world. Let's do this together. Let's make it a better place. And if I have to break some concessions and hurt some feelings before we can start that process, then so be it.
That's what's up. So why help community? Like, what is your passion and drive for working in the mental health field?
Yeah, so I lost one of my very close friends in high school to suicide, and that really impacted me. And I've always had my own mental health struggles, you know, being who I am and where I come from and my background. I've always had my own mental health struggles, but when my friend was lost to suicide, that really kicked it into gear that like I need to be more proactive. It's not just about supporting those around you, it's about building a community of support. And even before P3, I was doing stuff with like Marsha Epstein and Lawrence with Word Save Lives. And then I got involved in P3, and it's like, oh, I have a platform now that I can build up the community with and build it around. Because as much energy as I put into it, it's only one person. So when I meet people like the people that work at P3, like yourself, Tierra, Juliana, Sherry, Millie, Andre and Brian out in Colorado. We're trying to make that difference and build up the community and bring people together so that they can have the supports that they need. We always say we want to get you from where you are to where you need to be, and that's different for everybody. Taking a walk for me, that's part of my daily routine, but for somebody else, taking a step out that door can be huge. So it takes all of us to provide the support so that wide of a spectrum can be met. So that's why I'm so community based. And also, my background in artistry, team effort. I genuinely hate the people who are like, I did this by myself, me, myself, and I. It's like, no, you did not. It's like even this may look like a two-person conversation, but we have the internet, pieces of technology powering us. The lights are on in both of our rooms. Like thousands of people went into just making a one-on-one conversation possible. So, I mean, if you really think about it, everything is community. And if you're not building a positive one, then you're letting yourself down and you're letting your team down.
That is true. That is true. Can you ever feel like you was in a position where you weren't received as far as the team effort, or
Not that I wasn't, but I got involved with a label after my sixth national award. I decided, let's try to take this up a level. Let's get involved with the label, and ended up signing a contract. I hated it. I genuinely hated it because it was so much of it was an I thing. It was you have to look out for you. It can only be you. You can't take anybody with you. And it's like that's not what artistry is to me. If you're not the hand up, then the hell is the point? Like it can't just be for yourself. There's no point in one person feasting if we aren't all eating. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I had to leave the label, and luckily, when I was like, I'm done with this, I can't do this anymore. It was wrecking myself. I wasn't eating. I was barely sleeping. Like I would eat maybe once every 2 days. I was barely sleeping. Like it was wrecking me. It's not. It's because of my wonderful mentors in the community that I was able to come up in. I knew it was wrong, and it was like this isn't for me. This isn't what artistry should be. So luckily, when I left the label, I was able to go full time at P3 like 2 weeks later, and I'll forever remember that moment when I got the call that I was able to go full time after leaving the label. Like I literally fell to the ground crying. It's like I'm back to doing what artistry is supposed to be.
yeah, I was now. This is probably you kind of segued into my next question. Like, what has P3 done for your life? Is what I was gonna say.
Oh man, innumerable things. Like, I mean, my mental health is so much better. I feel like I'm able to just be me a lot more. Like I don't have, I'm not worried about, oh, does this look cool, or is my social media promotion doing the most? It's like that that doesn't matter. The community impact is what matters. And I mean, before P3, I would have never been like, what? Let me show you, one of the miniatures that I'm working on in painting because this is super cathartic to me, and
Oh, okay.
detailed stuff that doesn't really
I
matter.
never, I never
Blah
knew
blah.
this, and I'm
Oh
excited.
yeah, I love painting my miniatures because like this is one of the ones I'm working on.
What
It's
is
it's
that?
just it's a Star Drake from Warhammer. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, big celestial dragon thing. But like I really love it because
So
like
that's what
it's
that's
very
what you
detailed.
do, kind of like in your downtime.
Yeah, like that's my. unwind time because like it's very detail oriented. It's small, detailed miniature. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like nobody's gonna come up to me and be like, "Oh, you didn't blend that gold with that blue perfectly." Like that's never gonna happen. So it's just cathartic to put a lot of detail and effort into something that doesn't matter. And a couple years ago, I'd have never showed that on a live stream. I'd have been like, "Man, people are gonna judge me. They're gonna think I'm really nerdy." And it's not like, no, this is something I enjoy, and it's not for everybody. I understand that, but it's something that helps me, and it helps me relax and unwind and be a calmer person, and keeps me off of Facebook to not reading the comments section is self care. So
Wow, I work with him like I said, and I never knew he did that. So I'm learning something new about you, man. So, man, like, what is the next thing for you? What's next up for you as an artist? Are we getting ready to have a book or an album? Like, what is next with Matt Spacia?
yeah, so an album is actually in the works. I've been,
Okay.
you know, when you brought me out to, I believe it was One Mic, Kansas City, not One Mic, the show at the Buffalo Room in December a couple years ago.
That was the one.
Yes, thank you. That was my first like feature after like big feature after leaving the label, and I started writing again, and I've been working on the album, and I finally have the thing that I want to. I finally have the project that I want to put out, and it's been a minute since I've released a project. It's been since 2018 actually was the last time I released a project, and
Wow. Okay.
from 2016 to 2018 I was releasing an album every year, and I just I needed this album to be something specific, and it's going to be called Reclamations, and I'm going to put it out. I'm actually working on it. In my spare time, I've got my equipment. I don't know if you can see any of it behind me, but it's all on the new shelves in the new house. So I've been
I
working on it.
I see the background, but I can't. So those are shelves back there.
I got my mics and all that, and soundproofing stuff I can put up on the walls. And I've been working on the project, and I'm going to send it over to a couple of wonderful producers that I know. Of course, keeping it local. Got to support the local scene. Plus, I love working with local people. Uh, so I'm working on that album. I don't have a release date or even a tentative release date to it yet, but getting stuff recorded, and Reclamations should be coming soon.
Okay. I look forward to that. That's gonna be great. So you're gonna have mainly political pieces on this.
There's going to be a couple of political pieces on it. Kind of have to. Then there's going to be a lot of self-discovery pieces. There's a line that I've really been, not to sound pretentious and quote myself, but I'm not a masterpiece, but I'm a proud work in progress, and that's kind of the theme to the album. Like it's not. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday.
Okay, that's what's up. So we're gonna take this time. We're gonna do some updates on what is going on with P3, and then we're gonna get into. Are you gonna share some poetry for us, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
got to turn my camera off for just a second. I got to plug my laptop in while you give the updates, but I'm still ready.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so we get into updates. We have upcoming events. We have this 28th of May. We have our Story Circle. When the Story Circle is a monthly event that we have with, um, in conjunction with the Colorado team. And with that, we have people from Colorado and the Kansas City area on that story circle. If you are interested in getting involved with the story circle, feel free to go to our events section on our Facebook page. You can sign up for that, and we would love to have you attend that as well. That is at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time this upcoming May 28th. Then we also have our rap training coming up. We've already took the sign in, so the sign up is closed for that. That's next. That's this week. That is Wednesday and Thursday. Then we're going into next month, and if you want to sign up for rap training, we have training coming up the second week of June and the fourth week of June. So if you want to sign up for those, you can do those as well. And the C-card training is not till July. So the trainings, those are open to Everyone, there is fees involved, so we definitely want you to do that. But at the same time, the training is for the enhancement of your career. If you are in the recovery field or if you're in the mental health field, it is great training to have under your belt. RAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and it is a plan that you can use on yourself and others. I highly recommend that class, and I highly recommend the CCAR training, which stands for Connecticut Community Addiction Recovery. These are all national certificates and definitely something that you want to get involved in. So, that is what we have for our updates. And then we want to get you also more information. If you want more information about anything, I'm going to go to my banner so you guys can contact us. If you have more, if you want more information on anything to do with P3, you can also email us, and that is info@poetryforpersonalpower.org. Again, if you have any questions about anything we have going on, you want to sign up for training, or you want more information about training, well, if you want more information about training, I'll sign up. You can email us and we'll give you that information. Also, we have a conference coming up in October. That's Ride of Joy Conference. We would love for you to be involved with the Ride of Joy Conference. We have stopped the deadline for speakers, but definitely if you want to attend that, go to rideofjoy.com. And then if you have any questions for me specifically, I'm always open here for you. You can email me. That's rwagner@poetryforpersonalpower.org. So we're going to check back into Matt. Not sure if you're. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, are you back there yet? I can't hear you.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, there you go. And
yeah.
So.
Sorry, my cord is really nice.
Oh, okay, you good. I was just giving the updates, and I was finishing up actually. So I'm gonna take this info off. Like I said, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to us. We are here. Like I said, you can email me or you can email an organization, and we'll definitely get back to you. Or if you want to leave a comment on this video, I always say these videos do not self-destruct, so they are there. If you want to go back, comment anything, someone will get back in touch with you. Man, you're disappearing on me. Okay. So so are you ready to do some poetry for us, Matt?
I am. My computer is making noises and stuff. There we go. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Okay, cool. I had to turn off general sound. I was getting a bunch of emails and it was sitting there pinging. I'm like, stop making noise. I'm doing something. All right. So yeah, let's do this one. This will be off Reclamations. Yeah. Do you understand what it's like to be able to clearly see and define the problem, be able to formulate multiple solutions, yet live in a nation of asterisks? Of course you do. We are the outcast, or maybe just the in-crowd with morals. Whichever you are, we're on the same team. We were sold a dream and sworn by it in classroom, claimed to educate, yet I have learned far more from honest story than a textbook, more from documented recountings than whitewashings, and far more from teachings than dictations. This is a nation of asterisks. We know this, but most won't acknowledge it. And you can easily search the statistics, so save me my time in the fine confines of this allowed messaging. This is a land that promises freedom, yet is founded on two original sins: genocide through conquest and prosperity through forced ownership. Free unless insert asterisk. Now, this is a land that promises opportunity. We accepted a bronze monument that embodies it, Lady Liberty, ideals now similarly rusted, cursed on the foundational level. Yet this is a system predicated upon you buying it. We now are worse off than a politic that died a century ago, allegedly along with monarchist rhetoric. But the powerful swear the oppression is worth the innovation, killing the societal mobility that the propaganda will swear was the point in the first place, and that still existed with practice, red lines, and strict signs that say wealth and being rich have their differences. Opportunity, unless insert asterisk. A land that promises happiness, yet retains that given our intellect and ease of solving it, medicine remains accessible to only the few that can buy it. The rest of you must suffer. Give all of your succor for it, and despite the advancement, we still say only for those that can buy it. And if you want empowerment through the rights, well, we blankly deny that unless, well, you're white, but only the right type, as in straight and embryonic. But then, only then, in those specific types, leaving out swaths, but that's easy when you haven't read the books. But tell me again how this is a nation of equals. Happiness, unless insert asterisk. Now, bleak could be the outlook, and I understand it's a lot easier to have optimism when from my position, being in this fight for what is truly all of us is a choice. But hopefully that means something. Because I wake up every day and invite that conflict. So please listen when I say that we have power. Let me say that again. We have power. And that can manifest much stronger than any pre-imagined blood-tainted destiny. Through organization and collective directed efforts, we have the legitimate means of pressure, and you can best be sure that they have no choice but to listen. Even with the first and third largest military most ready to stand against us, we still have the numbers. And there's nothing they can do to change this. So consider it a preliminary call to action, and just remember rule number 5, and be ready when we remind them and make them listen to the millions more voices capable of first drowning out, then washing clean, and reforging in the brilliancy of an actual, united, and undivided humanity. Please, just be ready. And that's that piece.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to sign off. And as I always say, I'm Serenity reminding you to spit your piece. And make sure you check us out next week. Well, we got next. Yeah. But you guys have
Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you next time. And thank you so much for having me, Mr. Serenity. You always
no
do a great
problem.
job. Bye-bye.